What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams. Happy Thursday, a little bit late again, and again, I apologize. But today we're going to be discussing the Netflix original film, The School for Good and Evil, starring Sophia Ann Caruso, Sophia Wiley, Kit Yun, Michelle Yeoh, Jamie Flatters, Earl Cave, Kate Blanchett, Kerry Washington, and Charlize Theron. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, it's Thursday. Happy Thursday. Little bit late today, a little bit late this week again, and I do apologize again. Things have been crazy for me around the house these last couple of weeks. I'm not really sure what it is, but I've just been in a bit of a funk, haven't had the energy and the drive to get going. I'm going to try to correct that, but just a heads up, if things don't fall into place like they're supposed to, you understand why. But enough about that. Today we're going to get into the Netflix original film, The School for Good and Evil. And as our movie opens, twin brothers Ryan and Rafal found the School for Good and Evil, designed to groom fairy tale heroes or evers and villains or nevers, respectively. You think about happily ever after, so those are the heroes, and the nevers obviously are going to be the bad guys. I'm going to be using those terms later, so try to stick with me here. Now, dissatisfied with evil's constant submission to good, Rafal attacks Ryan using blood magic, forcing Rahan to throw Rafal off of a cliff, presumably killing him. Years later, in the village of Gavaldon, best friends Sophie and Agatha learn about the school from the town bookshop owner. Now, while the misfit Agatha is skeptical, fairy tale obsessed Sophie dreams of escaping ordinary life and becoming a princess. A few nights later, Sophie attempts to run away from Gavaldon in secret. But when Agatha finds out and tries to intervene, a giant stymph snatches them both up and flies them to the school. Much to their dismay, however, Agatha is dropped at the school for good, while Sophie is delivered to the school for evil. Agatha protests, wishing to return home to Gavaldon, while Sophie insists that she belongs in the school for good. Agatha and Sophie seek out the school master, Rayan, and the magical Storian pin. Now, Rian says that he will only allow Sophie to switch schools if she can prove herself to be an ever by attaining true love's kiss. Sophie casts Prince Tedros, the son of King Arthur, as her true love and enlists Agatha's help. Agatha and Sophie begin to struggle in their respective classes, and they are both outcast by their peers. Although Agatha is vocally critical of Good's superficiality, Everdeen Clarissa Devi argues that her sense of empathy makes her the first true princess in a very long time. Meanwhile, Rafal manifests himself as a wasp swarm and defends Sophie from another student's attack. And the Neverdeen, Lenora Lesso, interprets this as Sophie's unique potential for winning a victory for evil, something that was thought to be impossible for centuries. When Sophie tries to get close to Tedros, Lesso cuts her hair in order to try and break her spirit. Under Rafal's influence, Sophie undergoes a radical change in appearance and personality, gaining the favor of the Nevers and rising to the unofficial position as the leader of Evil's student body. Although she diverges from Agatha, Agatha still tries to aid Sophie by using magic to bring her and Tedros together. An ever and a never being together causes chaos between the two schools. So Raihan declares a trial by tale in order to settle the issue. At the trial, Sophie ends up proving inept in defending herself and Tedros, prompting and infiltrating Agatha to save him in her stead. This results in Tedros rejecting Sophie for choosing self preservation over him, with the prince starting a relationship with Agatha. Convinced by Rafal that Agatha is now her enemy, Sophie accepts his offer of blood magic. Sophie incapacitates Devi, Lesso, and the rest of the school staff and crashes the Evers ball, now physically transformed into a hag. She threatens Agatha and goads Tedros into attacking the School of Evil. However, by attacking, the Evers break the law of good defends and evil attacks, which results in the Nevers and the Evers magically switching appearances and a battle breaking out. Sophie goes and seeks revenge on Rihan, who reveals himself to have been Rafal all along, having survived the fall and killed Rihan, assuming his identity and manipulating good stories in order to weaken it from within, favoring evil. He then purposes he and Sophie to rule together, declaring her his true love. As they kiss, both schools begin to collapse, horrifying Sophie. When Agatha arrives, Rafal tries to impale her with the story in, which he made it put in the story that it has written. Sophie pushes Agatha out of the way and takes the fatal hit. Her sacrifice undoes both Rafal's spell and already written fate on Agatha, saving everyone. Agatha, with the dying Sophie and Tedros' help, kills Rafal with Excalibur. Agatha then kisses the dying Sophie goodbye, and this proves to be a demonstration of true love, which revives Sophie. The Evers and the Nevers reconcile, and the restored school staff decide to unite the two schools into one. A portal to Gavaldon opens, and Agatha kisses Tedros before crossing over with Sophie as they return to their old lives. However, a portal opens, piercing the veil between worlds, and an arrow flies through with Tedros pleading that he needs Agatha. The historian then states that this is only the beginning as our movie comes to its close. I want to say this was a Netflix original movie last year. My girlfriend watched it, thought it was good, tried to get me to watch it, and I was just so busy with all the other stuff I watched to review and then cover for wrestling, didn't have an opportunity. So when I decided to revisit Back to School Month, I was like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity for me to throw this movie in that she's been wanting me to see, give it a watch, and see what happens. And I'm glad she recommended it because it was good. It was a really good tale of how things aren't always what they seem, how one person's desire to do anything in order to fulfill what they feel their destiny could be just enough to prove that they are a villain. because you watch the story unfold, and Sophie wants this more than anything. She wants to be a princess. She is willing to do whatever it takes to get out of Gavelton and become something more. Agatha just doesn't really care. She's nonchalant about the whole thing. But Sophie's desire to do whatever it takes is very villainesque. It's that little something there that makes you wonder if she's not all right in the head, because she's willing to do whatever it takes. And as the movie progresses, you start to see her take more chances to the point where she fully consumes herself and becomes evil, eventually transforming into a hag. And it's just great storytelling to watch that transformation. And meanwhile, you've got Agatha, who in her gut believes in everything that is right and true and shows herself to be a true hero. When on the surface, back in Gavelton, they're calling Agatha a witch. So you would assume that she would be evil, but she's not. I liked the Descendants esque nature of this, which we haven't done Descendants yet. I'm sure we'll get there at some point. But you see a lot of hero and villain offspring in this. You know, the the son of Captain Hook, the daughter or the granddaughter of the evil queen from Snow White, King Arthur's son. So there's kind of this Descendants-esque feel to it. Daughter of the Sheriff of Nottingham from Robin Hood. And I liked that because that's one of the things that really appealed to me about the Descendants was you look at some of these, and I'm sure I'll get into this again then when we do those movies, but you can believe a hero and a heroine, a prince and a princess consummating their relationship and having a child. It's a little bit harder for you to believe that villains can create a spawn, a next generation, a descendant. So seeing where some of these come from, and then seeing that this school is responsible for nurturing them into prince and princesshood and villainy. Crazy. I thoroughly enjoyed this story. When it comes to my rating for it, I am going to give this 4 out of 5 stars. What do you guys think of The School for Good and Evil? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure you guys stay tuned throughout the day, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, as we have opened up the vaults once again for another edition of Throwback Thursday. That's right, all the content that you've grown to know and love from the Simple Man's brand, from J. Hebert Studios, from NoDQ.com, from the Jeff Meacham Network, and of course, from right here in the Casa D18 Studios, presented to you as we do each and every Thursday. Throwback Thursday, been running throughout the day, still has a lot more to offer. So check it out and enjoy the classic content. And then later on this evening, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, it'll be time once again for the flagship show, Talk Wrestling with Jeff Meacham. 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern, across the entirety of the multiverse of media. And then tomorrow, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, will be another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews as we wrap up back to school month and discuss Buffy the Vampire Slayer, starring Christy Swanson, Luke Perry, Rutger Hauer, Donald Sutherland, Paul Reubens, Hilary Swank, David Arquette, Ben Affleck, Ricky Lake, Seth Green, and Alexis Arquette. And then the Friday coverage doesn't end there, as on the Casa D18 Studios channel, as well as on the Simple Man's brand, we will be doing the Simple Man brand's flagship show, Simply Predicting, for WWE NXT No Mercy. 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on the Casa D18 Studios, as well as over on the Simple Man's brand. You don't want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, the Simple Man's brand, and across the entirety of the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media. We've got Throwback Thursday content still going on for today, Talk Wrestling this evening, Buffy the Vampire Slayer tomorrow, and Simply Predicting tomorrow evening. Again, you don't want to miss any of it, so make sure you smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Stat Boy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, pay-per-view PLE watch-along coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of Charlize Theron, fans of Lawrence Fishburne, fans of Good versus Evil, fans of Michelle Yeoh, anybody you can think of that would enjoy this content in this video, share it with them, as it's the only way we're going to keep my visibility up in YouTube's algorithms now that we are in fact a monetized channel right here on the platform. Thank you once again to everybody out there who joined me and tuned in today. It means so much more to me than you guys will ever know. I will see you guys next time.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.